Hi, I'm Peter Podsiadły, and I want to share with you what I learned about the Earth's future. The Earth is warming because of human emissions of greenhouse gases. Scientists gather the data from land and ocean. On average, the temperature continues to rise. 174 countries signed Paris Agreement. 194 international research institutes and 97% of scientists agree that the global warming exists and is caused by the burning of fossil fuels. Maybe warmer is good. Maybe not. United Nations predicts 2 to 5 degree warming by the end of this century. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change estimated that 2 degrees global warming comes with the cost of $43 trillion in impact damages, some of it paid by our government, which gets money from me and you. Earth already warmed up by 1 degree. Because of that, Earth is losing land suitable for growing crops. At the same time, Earth's population increases. With increasing demand and shrinking supply, we are going to reach a point where there is just not enough food to feed all humans. With more frequent droughts, sea level rise, and extreme weather events, increasing number of people will be forced to leave their home region. They will come to other countries in peace, hopefully, as they have reasons to be angry at countries emitting greenhouse gases. Mankind is likely to survive, but other species are out of luck. Ocean acidification and other climate changes will disrupt food chains and extinct 1/3 of species. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. How global warming works. As the sun's rays reach the Earth's surface, some are absorbed and re-emitted as heat. Greenhouse gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide absorb and re-radiate some of this heat. Increased amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere traps more heat and warms the Earth. As Earth's temperature increases, ice melts and is no longer trapping methane, which is a greenhouse gas. Melting ice turns areas that were reflecting light into areas that absorb sun's energy. Rainforest drying and more frequent forest fires release additional carbon dioxide. Increased temperature increases amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. All these feedbacks amplify greenhouse effect, which increase the temperature, which cause more positive feedbacks. Most likely not in this century, someday the Earth will warm so much that it will never get cooler again. Runaway greenhouse effect happened on Venus, where ocean evaporated and all that water vapor keeps the surface temperature above the boiling point, which prevents water condensation. Even 16-degree warming would make most of our planet uninhabitable by humans. Wet bulb temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius can result in lethal hypothermia, as human body would not be able to remove excess heat. How do we keep going where we want to go, keep doing what we want to do, and live fulfilled lives without turning the Earth into a hothouse? There is a single action that makes the most impact: leaving fossil fuels in the ground, where they belong. If we do that, the Earth would still warm for 30 years, but then it would start going back to colder state. It's not that easy to stop using fossil fuels when 2/3 of electricity and 80% of total energy comes from them. They are a very efficient source of energy. 1 liter of crude oil gives 10 kilowatt hours. Physically working human can daily produce 1 kilowatt hour. So burning 1 liter of oil is like hiring 10 people for 1 day. Average Pole daily needs 82 kilowatt hours for transportation, heating, and electricity. 82 kilowatt hours every day is like hiring 82 people for your lifetime. From that point of view, Average Pole is a king with an army of servants. For many, that's not enough. We can do more with less. We can be more efficient with energy we have. For example, petrol engine uses only 1% of energy from burning fossil fuels to move the driver. Most of energy goes to heat the engine and some to move 1 ton of steel along with the driver. 99% of energy is wasted. There is an area for improvement. So, should I buy Tesla? Electric engines are more energy efficient. To make 100 kilometers in Tesla, you only need 15 kilowatt hours, 5 times less than a typical compact car. Buying electric car supports renewable energy industry, but let's consider other options first. Public transportation has low energy consumption per passenger because it is serving multiple travelers with one trip. Additional advantage of trains is that they have their own lanes and don't have to make unwanted stops. Buses can also have dedicated lanes, which further lowers their energy consumption. If we look at the traveler's needs, we can see that there is a potential conflict between first two. With increased speed, more energy is needed to overcome air resistance, which increase the cost of the trip. What if there was no air? Increasing number of companies experiment with vacuum and low pressure tubes to achieve speeds around 1,000 kilometers per hour. No drag means almost all energy used for acceleration can be recovered when decelerating. With same amount of energy that is used by a compact car to get us from Krakow to the Baltic Sea, we could make a vacuum tube trip around the Earth 12 times. That's a bit abstract. What about something everyone could use this year? A bicycle is 80 times more energy efficient than a compact car. It weighed much less than the driver, so most of energy serves the purpose of moving passenger from A to B. It uses 100% renewable energy. Over 1/3 of citizens in Amsterdam and half of the people in Copenhagen use bicycles as a main mode of transport. Which city do you want to live in? A city with bikes and public transportation surpassing cars, or a city with air quality index exceeding norms 27 times in a month, like Krakow in January. Modernizing transportation would definitely help to improve citizens' health, but there is even bigger source of Krakow pollution. The burning of fossil fuels for the purpose of house heating is responsible for around a half of inhalable coarse particles in Krakow's atmosphere. People pay for the energy to generate the heat, while there is plenty of excess heat out there. For example, thermal power station generates a large amount of heat as a side effect of producing electricity. In Poland, 90% of electricity comes from coal power plants. They already produce enough heat to cover heating needs of people in the city. What if your housing area was carefully designed to prevent social life, organized transport, and central heating? Even a lonely house can be environmentally friendly. We have the technology. First picture shows solar house from 1939, which used solar radiation as a heat source for the winter. The technology advanced and got cheaper. When building new home, you can pay additional 10% to have energy producing instead of energy consuming house. Some designs produce 3 times more energy than they are using, which introduces an interesting concept of distributed energy network. If I join common energy network, I can sell my excess heat or excess electricity to other peers. If I have spare money, I can invest in electric or thermal battery, purchase resources when price is low, and sell them when demand is high. Even energy-consuming houses benefit from energy-producing neighbors. Buying local electricity and heat avoids long-distance transmission fees and energy loss. Energy industry will change in this century, even if we set aside the climate change. At current consumption rates, Earth will run out of crude oil in 35 years, natural gas in 45 years, and coal by the end of this century. We will need to use alternative energy sources. Fortunately, prices of photovoltaic panels are dropping, and now installation pays back in less than 7 years. Leading Polish manufacturer sells photovoltaic modules with 25 years warranty. After transition, wind and sun will be primary source of energy in Poland. We went over big changes in transportation and heating. You can also conserve the energy through small behavior changes like fast venting during the winter to reduce the heat loss, turning things off when you're not using them, and using nearby resources instead of transporting them over a long distance. Sometimes we use our energy on things that aren't optimal. We may be influenced by other people or a commercial to purchase something that is not making our lives better. Choosing local whole food provides all nutrients your body needs and prevents 14 leading causes of death. Convenience food requires significant amount of energy to turn that palm oil with salt and sugar into a delicious cookie, packaged like it's precious, advertised and distributed worldwide. People eating processed food often intake too much saturated fat, salt, sugar, and not enough vitamins and minerals. Time and money spent on healing their bodies can be easily avoided with a plant-based diet. On average, we use 10 times more energy to produce the food than the food is worth in terms of calories. Instead of beef, we can choose local raw food, which is 70 times more energy efficient and does not involve killing or exploiting other beings. Energy efficiency of food can be seen in the price. If you account for healthcare costs of vegans and meat eaters, plant-based diet is 16 times cheaper. Even if everyone here made energy revolution in their lives, and we influenced 10,000 people to live sustainably, it would still be not enough. Remaining 38 millions of Poles would live their lives as usual, and each of them would emit over 8 tons of carbon dioxide every year. While it is necessary for individuals to change their own behavior, in the face of climate change, we need national level changes. Parliament needs to discontinue subsidizing the fossil fuel industry. Effective legislation is necessary to cut carbon emissions. When Marshall Saunders recognized that, he created CCL. Citizens Climate Lobby is a group that trains and supports volunteers to build relationships with their elected representatives. We work with governments around the world to legislate law supporting renewable energy technologies by revealing true cost of fossil fuels. Independent research institutes published reports showing that revenue-neutral carbon fee and dividend makes polluters pay, ensures people can afford the energy in transition time, makes clean energy a default choice as it becomes cheaper than fossil fuels, causes sustainable economic growth, and most importantly, prevents the damages done by the global warming. Please join me during the break or anytime after the conference and write a letter or a postcard to a member of parliament elected from Krakow district. I will deliver all of them personally. We can use our voices to express political will and demand action. We must help our elected leaders work together. It's on us to tell them what we want as a group, because when voices call out together, their impact multiplies. Government can respond to the will of the people, provided we tell the government what we want. And what we want is a livable world. Thank you.